It looks terrible here.
俺らがここを出た時のまんまぜよ。片付ける暇もなかったちゅうことや。人の気配はないけど、連中一体どこへ行ったかやろうか。
I watched Ryoma grab a hold of his pistol as he carefully slid a nearby door open. His eyes darted to a still-lit lantern, which had been left unattended in the corner of the room.
ここも片付けてないままやにゃ。
Looks like someone rifled through all of these documents. They've been ripped to shreds. Do you think they could be related somehow to the Fury research? Or maybe the Water of Life? Surely Hakuoki and my father had attempted to cover their tracks, considering their involvement with the Furies had implicated them entirely. Their conspicuous disappearance from the scene of the crime all but signified their culpability. That they had left with all of this evidence out in the open suggested to me that something troubling was afoot. Sakamoto-san tensely opened a closet door. I braced myself as it creaked open, and then...
銃弾や、助かったぜよ。こないだずいぶん使うてしもうて、心細うなっちょったところよ。しかも、おあつらえ向きに銀の銃弾ときたもんよ。
Silver? Why would you use such a valuable metal?
この銀の銃弾で負わされた傷は、たとえ羅刹になっても簡単には言えんがやとよ。
Oh. It looks like there's a medicine of some sort inside of here too. I wonder what it is.
そいつかい。
You know what this is?
それやったら俺も持っちゅう。これと同じものやろ。
Ryoma rustled his hand in his pocket, pulling from it packets of medicine wrapped in parchment.
もし血を飲みとうなったら、こいつを飲めって報道から言われちゃったが。なんでも、吸血衝動の発作を抑える薬ながやと。
Really? So there's a method to curb your symptoms? As long as we got this, then we can help other Furies who are suffering, right?
相変わらずお人よしやね。そんなうまい話があるわけないろうが。
What?
抑える言うても、発作そのものが起きんようになるわけやないき。むしろ、どんどん薬が効かんようになって、いつか狂うてしまうに決まっちゅうろ。やき、そうなる前にあいつらを見つけ出さんといかんがよ。
I shuddered. A shuddering thought came to mind. If Nakaoka planned on moving a large group of Furies around the country, then surely it would require copious amounts of blood to satiate their collective thirst. Dozens, if not hundreds, would be needlessly killed. We're running out of time to save them. Say, do you think any of these documents might yield some clue as to where they went?
バラバラになっちゅうみたいやけんど、読み取れるかい？
Alright, let's get to it then. I began flipping through a shuffled stack of wrinkled documents, trying to identify familiar phrases. These mention Furies, experiments, and methods of blood gathering. My eyes widened as I parsed through the research material in the dimly lit room. Odawara, Sekisho, Kofukasu. That's all I can make out.
行動か南雲薫が におる連中に出した指示書かもしれん。
Kaoru Nagumo, a young girl whom the protagonist had met in Kyo. She is an acquaintance of Ryoma Sakamoto's and is affiliated with the Toso domain in some way.
小田原の関所地言うたら有名な箱根の関所かい。
Do you think that's where most of the Furies are headed?
多分。連中の今後の動きさえ分かったら長いは無用。行くぜよ千鶴。
As I turned my body towards the exit, ah! It appears we have found our round one. I hope it is anyway. Oh, it is. It is. A strained yelp came from Ryoma's mouth, and he doubled over, visibly distraught. Pads of sweat began forming on his forehead as he clawed upon his chest in agony. Oh no! His wavy brunette hair was fading into a stark shade of white. Was this about a bloodlust? What should I do? And say it with me now! Give him blood. Sakamoto-san, please drink my blood.
アホなこと言うな。
That's why you're in pain, isn't it? At this rate, it's only going to worsen.
いくら発作を抑えるためや言うても女の肌に傷らつけれるはずないろうが。
As Ryoma screamed out, his face scrunched from pain, and I winced as I watched his veins bulge. I panicked, realizing that the medicine in front of us was, as Sakamoto-san had put it, a temporary fix. If there seemed to be no better method of suppressing his pain, then I had to do the right thing, so I unsheathed my kodachi and pressed its icy edge against my neck.
アホ！やめろち言うろうが。
Upon realizing my intentions, Ryoma typically swiped at my kodachi to grab it, but I was too fast for him. I felt a dull sting from the side of my neck, followed by warm blood oozing out of the cut. Please, Ryoma, drink my blood before the cut heals. Ryoma shot me an initial dubious look, narrowing his eyes, but eventually he grabbed a hold of my arm and pulled me in. Hesitant breaths tickled my neck as he gently pulled the collar of my kimono apart. Having a man within such an intimate proximity was strange, if not nerve-wracking. The sensation froze me to the spot.
たけ、こんな真似してから女の血のすするくらいやったら苦しい思いをする方がよっぽどマシぜよ。
Ryoma's ringing preceded his thick lips pressing softly against the fresh cut, and it caused a shiver to travel down my spine. His tongue playfully flecked against my neck, dappling up droplets of blood and gaining speed. I'm sorry. Whatever may have been going through Ryoma's mind was an enigma to me, but one token of solace I could take was that his breathing frantic rhythm was calming, which was enough to vindicate my decision. Once his breathing was steady and his condition was stable, we left the mansion.
さて、この後はひとまず中からを追うて箱根に行くことになるろうけんど。小田原まで徒歩で向こうたら時間がかかりすぎるきにや。どこかで馬を手配するしかないぜよ。
A horse? How could we manage that? Horses were a luxury afforded to feudal retainers, certainly not a pair of outlaws. If Ryoma, adorned in his western clothes, were to strut on a horse, surely would draw notice.
ま、なんとかなるろ。俺に任せちょけ。
You always say that, Ryoma. His optimism bordered foolishness too often. I appreciated, however, his cheer in moments when everything felt grave, and somehow he managed to convince me every time. Hopefully the outcome will be nothing like Omiya, but I held my breath. I shook my head, trying to fan the memory of that night from my mind, like smoke from a candle. (1868) February. After procuring horses, we set out for Hakone. There we found the heavily guarded Sekisho, just as Ryoma had described it. By the time of our arrival, the moon had reached its apex in the sky, gleaming softly overhead.
なんま、やけに静かやにゃ。
Hey, look, there's a guard over there. That uniform looks Western, doesn't it? Does that mean...
ここはもう新政府軍の手に渡してしもうたちいうことやろ。一足遅かったぜよ。
遅いも遅い、大遅刻だよ。てめえら、一体どこをほっつき歩いてやがったんだ？
It's... I was startled by a voice calling out from us atop a thick tree, after which someone leapt down.
よ、お二人さん。待ちくたびれたぜ。
知らない？
ま、てめえのことだから、どうせ新婚旅行気分で浮かれてやがったんだろうが。
そんならよかったがやけんど、このお嬢さんは意外と身持ちが固いがよ。この俺がどれっばくどいても、おちんことおちんこと。
Ryoma, what are you on about? Enough. So, why are you here, Shiranui? Do you know what happened here?
ああ、ここで新政府軍と遊撃隊とかいう連中の小競り合いが起きてな。
I knew it. Ryoma and I glanced at one another out of worry.
土佐藩の羅刹隊が駆り出されたみてえだが、残念ながら大きな戦にはならなかったらしくてよ。連中が満足するほどの血は得られなかったみてえだな。
高堂や中岡はどうしゅうが？
さあな、戦の最中にいつの間にか姿を消しちまったから。戦いの後、どこぞに姿を消したか、あるいは関所に潜んでるのか、はっきりとはわからね
え。なるほど。
そんじゃ、俺はそろそろ行くからよ。あとは好きにしやがれ。
With that, Shiranui nodded his head, dashing into the blank darkness without a plume of dust. Through a plume of dust. Ugh.
関所の様子を探りたいとこやけんど、今は羅刹らも起きちゅうろ。明日の昼間にするかい。土佐藩が使いゆう羅刹は昼間でも動けるけんど、夜バーの力は出せんはずやき。
はい。
ここやったら関所に詰めちゅう連中に見つからんとも限らんし、少し移動するぜよ。